Hello everyone, this is Omni Talk Retail coming to you live from GroceryShop. It is day 2, Ann, of this conference, right? We are in Vegas.
We have made it through 24 hours.
24 hours in Vegas, yeah, right? And we are again live from the VusionGroup's booth A210, A210 as Ann likes to say.
Yes.
Come on by, we're gonna be here all day and all afternoon. We've got a whole host of interviews slated to come your way. But joining us now is a woman that I am very excited to introduce, and that is Mette Lykke, the CEO of a company that is making waves in Europe, and that is starting to get a ton of much-deserved press here in the States, I would add too, and that is Too Good To Go. So Mette, thank you for joining us today.
Thanks a lot for having me.
Mette, tell those who might not be familiar a little bit about Too Good To Go.
Yeah, so Too Good To Go is a B Corp certified social impact company. We basically connect consumers with food businesses that have surplus food left by the end of the day. So the way it works is, as a consumer, you open up our app, free on the App Store, and you can see what kind of food different food outlets expect to have left. You reserve it on the app, and then you just go and pick it up at the indicated time.
And for a U.S. audience, this is available in the U.S. I've used it. It's a great, great product. And it's amazing what you can find. I mean, you're right. There is so much that restaurants are trying to get rid of throughout the day. And for, $20, you can get an entire bag of, sushi that fed our whole, sushi is a common one, I will say. But the sushi from the day that just feeds your whole family for $20. Like, it's great. And it's not getting thrown away.
It really is one of those win-win-win cases.
Yeah.
It's good for the business, it's good for consumers, and it's good for planet.
Yes.
I think most people don't realize how big of an environmental issue food waste is. So 10% of all greenhouse gas emissions are coming from food that we waste. Really doesn't make any sense. At the same time, almost 800 million people go to bed hungry, and we're throwing away all this food on a daily basis.
Right.
So,
and what do you oversee in your role as CEO?
So we are live now in 19 markets across 3 continents, so Europe, North America, and now Australia, most recently. We have 100 million registered users on the platform, and we work with 170,000 different partner stores that have surplus food left every day.
Wow.
So Mette, you have a comprehensive range of solutions that you offer via the platform. Can you share with our audience what those solutions are in specifics?
Yeah, so we have our marketplace. So these are our surprise bags. So this is basically where, say, a restaurant, or most recently here now in the US, Whole Foods Market, will put up for sale whatever food they expect to have left by the end of the day. And then as a consumer, you get a roughly 70% discount, and you go and pick that up at the indicated pickup time.
Okay.
So that's
you reserve the bag in advance and you go pick it up.
Exactly. So that's the surprise bag. Then we have Too Good To Go platform, which is more an end-to-end food waste management system for retailers. So here we help them with handling the expiry date management of the food products in the store. So that consists of a couple of different elements.
Yeah, how's that work?
So one of them is recommending what to do with the food that is about to expire on the date. So the thing about food waste is it's a pretty complicated thing because it's unpredictable. You don't know exactly what you're going to have left, right? So best practice is you need to have a couple of different tools in your toolbox. So one of those tools could be discounting. You discount it in the store. We've now developed an AI module to help you optimize that discount. Instead of just saying 30 or 50% on everything, it's actually optimized.
Got it.
Another element is then the surprise bag. You can put it on the marketplace. And the third tool is you can donate it, and then we can help connect you with the charities on the other end of it.
Got it.
So we have that full suite now, which is really a one-stop shop for handling surplus.
So kind of a decision engine in the background that helps retailers understand exactly how best to dispose of the product in the most efficient
and each element
way.
here can also stand alone.
Right.
I mean, it's very powerful when you have all of it, but you can also have just the surprise bag or just the discounting.
Mette, you mentioned something recently about Whole Foods, and you've been making headlines here in the U.S. because of your partnership with them. It's like this whole concept of like discounting food or making food that's about to expire, available to people to buy that day. It seems like it's such a well-known or kind of a more easily conceivable thing in Europe, but now going into the U.S. market and into the place like Whole Foods. Tell us a little bit about how your partnership with them works, and maybe what was a little bit different about like doing this for a U.S. audience.
Yeah, Yeah, so I think the way the partnership works with Whole Foods is the same way it basically works with most of the leading retailers in Europe. We have really worked hard to make it as easy as humanly possible for the store personnel.
Right.
We know that they're very short-staffed. They have a lot of things they need to get to. They're super busy, so it needs to be easy. So we've really tried to make it almost as easy to save it on Too Good To Go as it would have been for them to throw the food in the bin.
Okay, and what does the process then look like from like a grocer's perspective? Like, is this all food that they, you help them kind of identify quickly and then they pack it up in the bags? Like, how does it all work and get to the marketplace platform?
It depends a little bit on what kind of category it is.
Okay.
So if we take bakery, for example, then typically they know roughly how much is going to be left. They just don't know the exact items.
Right.
But that's where the surprise bag comes in. You don't have to declare exactly what kind of food it is.
Right.
Just that it's bread and cake, for example, and that would be enough.
Okay.
What was the origin of the surprise bag concept, out of curiosity? Like, why did you go in that direction?
Well, I think we decided to go with that because that is what gives the store the flexibility that they need. Because if you ask the store to now declare, here's a salmon sandwich or a Caesar salad, they're not going to do that. They don't have that kind of time,
right.
But also they don't know in advance.
Right.
So you don't have enough time to sell it if you only know an hour in advance.
And the consumer's okay with that because they're trading off the lower price for not knowing what is in the bag.
Yes.
Okay.
And from a consumer standpoint, it's this nice cocktail of you feel good about saving the food. There's a fun discovery element. The surprise is actually something
the cake,
that people
the pastries are the best and the worst part of it because there's always a pastry bag somewhere and it's like, oh my gosh, I have 3 giant donuts to consume by myself. Right. It's going to get done. But yes.
Well, and I know you well enough. That's never a problem.
No.
So yes, between you and I, we'll figure out how to eat those donuts.
No.
All right. So first time at GroceryShop? Have you been here before?
I have not been here before.
Not been here before.
No, my first.
Just got in late last night too, right? So kudos to you for handling the jet lag and coming and talking to us. But you're going to be on stage here later this afternoon. What are some of the messages you plan on sharing to the audience here at GroceryShop? Maybe something that you haven't told our audience yet.
Yeah, so I think really first just awareness around the issue of food waste and why it is a big thing, not just environmentally, but also for store efficiency.
Yep.
And with low margins and inflation 100%. And all of that, it really makes a lot of sense. And then talk a little bit about the best practices. How can you actually reduce food waste closer to zero? I think those are 2 of the main things.
And Mette, what was some of the things when you were going to, say, a Whole Foods that were prohibiting them from doing something like a program like this before? Is it the complexity that was required from other food saving platforms where it's knowing item level data? Is that the kind of thing that kept retailers from maybe going all in on this, whereas Too Good To Go is a little bit simpler?
Yeah, so I think our concept really is quite simple also for store efficiency, and then there are a couple of advantages in teaming up with us here. So one is just, first of course there's the CSR aspect of it, but there's also the marketing. So very large part of our consumers will actually discover a store for the first time on the app, and then go see that store. And then, in many cases, more than half will buy something at full price now that they're in the store anyway.
Right.
So there's a significant upsell opportunity in that, and the marketing element. And then, of course, that's the financial piece.
Right.
You suddenly make money on the food you would otherwise have thrown away.
Right.
So it gives the grocers that work with you another distribution point or another awareness access point for potential new customers as well. Interesting.
They get to save the food that would otherwise go to waste, and they get new customers in the door, and they do something good for the planet.
Yeah, it sounds like a win-win.
It's definitely true of my experience. Like, I didn't know about the sushi restaurant that we ended up doing the Too Good To Go until I knew, and now we have ordered from them.
Oh my God, Mrs. Omnitalk's going to be all over the sushi
God, it's
thing.
amazing.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, well, let's close it up with kind of where the platform is going. You've made so many accomplishments. You're in 3 different continents now. What's ahead in 2025?
Yeah, so we want to look at, first, of course, there's the geographic expansion. So I mentioned Australia. We opened up less than a month ago now, and it's going really well. So very interested in the whole APAC region, and we'll see where that goes. But then we're also looking at where else can we introduce new solutions in the value chain. And I think with the 170,000 partners we have now, we have a good opportunity to kind of introduce something new as well.
Right. Wow. Fantastic. Well, thank you so much.
Yes, thank you for joining us today. Mette Lykke, the CEO of Too Good To Go. She's going to be on stage later if you happen to catch this beforehand. So go on, check her out, see what she has to say, and we'll be back here later today with more great interviews from Grocery Shop, from the VusionGroup booth A210. And so until then, and as always,
And be careful out there.